Hey guys, what's up? This is Brian behind the camera.
Alexandra.
And Alexandra.
Just woke up.
She's got a little bedhead. So we're just getting our morning going. We woke up this morning. We've been sleeping a little bit more. And we used to get up with the sun. Now we get up a little bit after the sun. We're going to reorient ourselves to the pre-sunrise waking up when we're in Bali. I'm talking. You get the camera. Basically we wake up, we meditate, and then journal and kind of move throughout our day. Anyway, we started our day that way, and I was journaling out here, and then we started talking, and this whole idea of committing ourselves to it's all free. It's a huge idea. And as I look at that and kind of feel into it and see, well, how am I going to approach this with Philosopher's Notes, with Optimum 101, with all the stuff I want to do going forward, how does it come together? How do I get an integrity with that? And frankly, it's a little bit stressful for me. And a little bit scary for me to imagine how do we do that. We aren't financially independent. We've got some cash in the bank. We don't have debt. But we need to make money, you know? So how do we do this? And really, we believe that it's possible, that we can just create extraordinary value and be taken care of. And that's kind of a practice for us. And it's a big leap for us to really step into that. And I was journaling on that this morning, reflecting on it. We just had an awesome conversation about it. And then we were reading some of the comments on Facebook, and Mika appreciate all your comments, and Mika had an awesome one about he would love to see how we journal and the differences and the similarities between how we journal. So that's going to be the theme for our little episode today, is our journaling practices. So why don't we go, we'll start with you, darling. So we both journal, as we mentioned, with kind of our ideal partner, and we'll spend a few minutes each talking about what we do specifically. And we have very different looking journals. Just I love Alexandra's is like this flowing, look at every page, flip back. Every page is like, it looks like the same. It's this awesome flowing hearts and just this cursive writing and just all about it. Whereas, I'll quickly flip through mine. This is my journaling this morning we'll get into my details of what I journal about, but more kind of doodling and mind maps and I don't know, staccato energy, if you will, versus the more flowing stuff. But tell us about what you journal about, pretty please.
So it changes every day. I also have this other journal, so it depends. Sometimes I do just whatever I feel inspired. This was all about kind of in Theos. I'm working with clean programs and my videos and my podcast, and then blogging and sharing my journey. And then goddesskitchen.com, which is a super cool website that's coming soon. And yeah.
Give us a basic idea. So what are you doing? When you sit down and you journal, what are you doing? Your hair's looking sweet, by the way.
Yeah, it's feeling really sweet.
What's your intention when you sit down?
So my intention in the morning is to just get clear, whatever's there for me. Just share, so it's almost like morning pages from the artist's way, of just writing whatever's in my consciousness. And it's not babble, but it's what's inspiring me. What's inspiring me today? What am I focusing on? And I write about this.
I really like this. I actually learned something about your journaling I didn't know that I'm going to get back into. This is really cool. So what is this?
This is my Goddess Living PhD program. So essentially, this is all that I want to do for my Goddess Living program. So I have all the courses that I want to do, the things that I want to study, my Goddess elements, spirituality, self-esteem, food, movement, creativity, relationships, play and fun, sexuality, sensuality, beauty, self-care.
So let me give a context here. So we both decided... My turn. So we both decided to give ourselves PhDs. I decided to give myself a PhD in optimal living, in how to live, right? There wasn't a program that integrated everything I wanted to study, from positive psychology, philosophy, mysticism, modern day self-development, nutrition, fitness, all this old school classic philosophy. There wasn't a program that integrated all those things, business, etc. So I decided to give myself my own PhD, and Alexandra did the same thing. My PhD is in optimal living, hers is in goddess living. Right, so what are all the elements that go into living a 21st century goddess life, bringing out her divine feminine? And this is what her worksheet is all about, is identifying what does that look like? What would she study if she wanted to really embrace that aspect and get a PhD in that? So that was the basic idea. And then we each have our own principles. So I've got 10 principles for Optimal Living 101. She's got how many elements?
I have 10 as well.
She has 10 elements as well. And they're more kind of for the divine feminine, whereas mine are perhaps more general or whatever. But just that idea of we both kind of have that structure which has been guiding our lives. So I just want to give people context on that.
So that's awesome. I read that in the morning and I just feel into that. I go over the product.
And you're reading this every morning?
Yeah, I just go over it and see and check in and make sure
This is
that
going to be a new
resonates.
practice for me. See, I haven't been doing that.
If it resonates with me, and then I check off things that I've already done, like certified health counselor, integrative nutrition. Check.
What are some other things that go into getting a PhD in Goddess Living?
Getting married and creating an amazingly awesome, beautiful, sacred, yummy, sexy marriage is one. And even in mine, I have become a mom.
Yep.
So that's part of my Goddess Living, and becoming an amazing mom, and the whole natural birth and natural pregnancy and all of that is part of my process. So that's my PhD. So
where does pole dancing fit into that?
Yeah, pole dancing is in there. Learn how to pole dance.
Stripping, we like that.
Stripping. Course of Miracles, breath work, do a juice feast. I have, a variety of different things. Yoga instructor. So that's my journaling. I just read that and then I write whatever feels good. And then sometimes I do this. I'll write my purpose. My purpose is to be the most radiant mind, body, spirit, goddess self, and to be an inspirational catalyst in for transformation. I am here to love, heal, inspire, transform, empower, create, laugh, and have fun.
Wow.
And then I have my goddess essence qualities, my strengths, my top visions for my life, and then I release any and all criticism, blame, comparison, judgment, blame, guilt, complaint, fear, doubt, worry, anxiety. I let it go, and so it is. I love my life.
Amen.
Amen.
Preach it.
So that's my journaling.
So we're going to need to go into detail just on your journaling. Maybe you'll have to do a video just on your journaling, because I think that's just awesome. And I'm going to get a lot out of it. So I want to learn.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, great. So with my journaling, it's interesting because when we were in Bali, I did this every single day. And now I do it nearly every day, but I actually let go of it a little bit last week. And it's funny because as I did that, I lost a bit of clarity that I had about what I wanted to create and how. So this morning, whenever I find myself kind of getting off, right, we're moving, everything's kind of around, we're packing up and moving. There's just a lot of moving parts right now. Anytime I find myself getting a little bit stressed, which would be right now, I go deeper into my work. I journal more and I get more clarity. I will train harder. I meditate more deeply. I eat better. Whereas before, when I was stressed, I would just kind of stop doing those things and things would fall apart and I'd go on a downward spiral. Now, one of the things I'm most excited about in my life, I'm proud of, is I can see when there's a little slip. And then I know what I need to do to get to the place where it doesn't go down, and then I actually can kind of catalyze it and make it a positive thing. So for me, my journaling, I like to say today is going to be an awesome day. I will start by honoring my fundamentals and have fun living my virtues throughout the day as I celebrate my life and honor everyone I'm blessed to play with today. And I talk about my fundamentals: greeting the sun, meditating, we're doing 30 minutes in the morning now, journaling, eating great. And it's important for me to eat by 8 a.m., training intensely, then studying. These are my a.m. rituals, right? And I talk about the fact that I've slipped in journaling and in eating early and stuff like that, and I've been affected by that. I'm also really big on putting virtues in action. So I talk about my top signature strengths. This is something I write all the time as we look at my journals. I come back to these virtues.
All neat and organized.
But this is the first page in my journal. I say integrity equals bliss. It's a concept I come back to again and again in my philosophy. These are my top virtues: creativity, hope and optimism, kindness and generosity, energy and enthusiasm, courage and wisdom. My virtues in action. So I'm committed to living these virtues, and I like to reflect on them on a consistent basis. And I do way better when I do it on a daily basis. Note to self, got to do it on a daily basis. So anyway, we can go off in more detail here. Then I look at, what do I want in my life? That's a huge question. I want to live in integrity. I want to give my greatest gifts and greatest service to the world. Then I look at my little hedgehog concept, which we'll talk about in a separate video. Philosopher's Notes, Optimal Living 101. How does that fit with It's All Free? And I'm kind of mind mapping this stuff all the time and just playing around with these different ideas. But we're running up against 10 minutes. So we're going to say adios for today. Happy journaling. That's a really quick look. I'm realizing we can talk a lot more about journaling. We will. Hopefully you got some goodness out of that. Mika, thank you so much for the suggestion. And everyone else, thank you so much for your love and support. Big hugs.
Have an awesome day.
Talk to you soon. Bye.